Ah, yes, the English Civil War. Issues with Parliament and the question of who was to take the throne. Parliament was made up of nobles and members of a thriving merchant and professional class, or the voice of the English people, who clashed with the monarch they had invited to succeed the heiress Elizabeth I. James I agrees to take the throne in 1603 under the idea of absolutism, which brings up tensions with Parliament. There is a confrontation with Parliament when James's son and successor Charles I marries sister of the King of France, who was Catholic, and his insistence on waging wars. Charles ruled from 1629 to 1640 without Parliament, and most members were not willing to trust him with an army. Many supported the Scots' resistance to Charles's religious innovations. This Parliament, or the Long Parliament because they sat for 20 years, enacted legislation that limited the power of the monarch and made government without Parliament impossible. In 1641, the Commons passed the Triennial Act, which made the king summon Parliament every 3 years. This back and forth between the king and Parliament went on, and eventually both sides gathered an army and prepared for war. The English Civil War. Supporters of the king fought to defend the power of the monarchy, and supporters of Parliament defended parliamentary power and for individual liberty and rule of law. Those opposed to the king were led by Oliver Cromwell, member of the House of Commons and a devout Puritan. After 3 years of fighting, Parliament's new model army defeated the king's armies at the battles of Naseby and Langport in 1645. In 1647, Cromwell captured the king and executes Charles Check and Mate, and that marks the end of the English Civil War and the beginning of the establishment of the Commonwealth period, where Britain governs without a king. All in all, the war has forces loyal to Charles I fight to defend the power of the monarchy, the official Church of England, and the privileges and prerogatives of the nobility, while forces supporting Parliament fought to uphold the rights of Parliament, to bring an end to an official state church, and for the ideals of individual liberty and the rule of law. Bonus stuff that I definitely did not forget to mention. The Cavaliers included aristocrats, nobles, and church officials who remained loyal to the king. They favored a strong monarchy and an Anglican church governed by bishops appointed by the crown. On the other side of the war, the Roundheads included Puritans, townspeople, middle-class businessmen, and people from Presbyterian-dominated London. They supported a parliamentary monarchy and a Presbyterian church governed by elected presbyters, or elders, and led by Oliver Cromwell. Ultimately, the Roundheads defeated the Cavaliers and in 1649 executed Charles I. That is all.